Okay, welcome back. And my name is Kawahungi Wendy Hill, and I'm from the Cayuga Nation and the Bear Clan. And I live in Six Nations of the Grand River. I just wanted to share at this time a little bit of some prophecy. And I wanted to share with you is because we're going through a big change, and I think that there's a lot of people who are worried and scared, I guess, because it's so strange this time. Like nobody has ever went through something like this. So, um, we are told that um, to hang on to our ways, to hang on to our knowledge about growing food, about hunting, about making your own clothes, to learn how to use your hands, like to make things. And I was taught, like, there may come a time that whatever you can make with your hands, whether it's clothing or whether it's carving artwork or a bowl or spoons or anything like that, you have to be able to be useful. And you can trade things, whatever you learn to make with your hands. You can trade things for what you need, whether it's like in my situation, I have 3 daughters. So I don't have a hunter. And so what we make, so all my daughters know how to sew. We know how to make our ceremonial clothes. And so what we can make, we could trade for food, for meat or fish. So things like that. So in this time, especially now, it's like almost May, and I'm getting so excited because it's almost time to plant. And my mother, she had a garden my whole life, and it was such a blessing to be able to go out to our garden and get fresh food and bring it in, and or even just to have it fresh outside. I learned to eat tomatoes and cucumbers and whatever else right from the plant right to my mouth. And that food that you grow is just so much better. I don't know, more delicious. But I don't know if it's because of the growth or if it was because of the effort that we all helped in it. And so when I built my house, I always have had a garden myself. And I find that, the garden is like a family. That's what I was told. Is the garden is like your family, our children. So when you plant those seeds, the seeds are like a small child, and it takes a lot of nurturing, and it takes a lot of different effort to make that seed sprout to become that plant. But the battle isn't over. Once that plant shoots through the earth, it's just beginning. And so then you gotta even be more careful because, if you have rabbits around, they might eat it. So you have to be protective. And the garden and the plants are just like children. Like if you ignore your children, they can grow wild. And so in a garden, if you ignore your seeds that you planted and the plants when they come up, then weeds can overtake it, and your food won't do well. And that's the same as your children. That's the teaching I was given about a garden. Is it takes time, attention, nurturing, and care. And That's the same as a family. So when I work on my garden, things come to me as I'm planting, or when I'm hoeing, or when I'm weeding. Messages come to me, and they come to me about my family, or like something really profound. And I'll give you a for instance. So me and my daughter, we planted corn together, and she planted, I think, maybe 3 rows, and I planted 3 or 4. Anyways, um, so one day I told her, I said, we should go out and weed the garden, weed our corn. And she said, okay, yeah. And she didn't come, and she stayed inside. So I was out there for maybe, I don't know, maybe an hour, hour and a half. And I did mine. I did my corn, my rows that I had planted. And I looked at her rows, and there was lots of weeds there. And I had a thought, and the thought was, I'm not going to weed hers, because she's not going to learn anything if I do it. And I heard this voice say, or this thought, you're all going to benefit from this food. And so why do you just want to take care of yours that you planted? It's going to be for all of you. You're all going to benefit. So just do it. So I did. I went and I started hoeing it, and it wasn't long. I finished hers, and she came out, and she thanked me. And I said, oh yeah, well, we're all going to benefit from it. And she said, yeah, that's true. And she said, I'll do it next time. I'll do yours too. So that, that was a real big lesson to me. And it's the same as children, like in where I live, I have family all around me. I have an older sister lives a couple 100 yards up from me, and I have a younger brother. My oldest niece lives in near me, like I can throw a stone and hit her house. And another niece lives behind, and I have an older brother. So in our field, there's a lot of children here. And the way that I was taught about growing up is that anyone who's older than me has a right to tell me right and wrong. They have a right to give me some kind of a teaching. And my responsibility is to listen and respect that they're telling me something because they care about me. And so we all have the ability to help each other in our children's upbringing. So when we think about like that, what happened with my daughter and the corn, I could have been lazy or selfish or whatever you want to call that, and just let her corn go. But when you have that thought that this world is small, and we should try to help each other, and especially with our children, like I get asked to do a lot of different workshops and stuff and teachings, and I do it because I know the world is small. And if there's any kind of a lesson or a teaching that somebody might benefit from, and it might help them to grow into a healthy person, or it might give them a healthy way to think about each other, then maybe my grandchildren will benefit from that. Maybe they'll meet that person's children sometime in life, or something, like it's so small, the world, especially with the internet. Like now you can talk to people from across the world and have some kind of a sharing with them. And so the garden, is a great teacher. And what I was told also is that when you watch somebody how they do their garden, that'll show you how much they care about their family, and how much time they give to their family and that nurturing. And so if you have some little bit of land, or if you have any kind of space that where you can grow something, grow some food, because that's your power. That's a very, very powerful feeling, is when you can grow food and your family can eat, and you don't have to go to the grocery store. And I know some, maybe they live in cities, but even if you have like a balcony, or if you have a little bit of space in your apartment where you could put a pot and grow a tomato plant, or anything that where you can just have some fruit that come from that, or some food, and you can ingest that. The food that you grow, I don't know why, but it seems so much more alive and juicier and tastier than when you go to a grocery store, and you're not even sure how long ago it was picked. Because when you consume food closer to when it was still on a plant, the more alive you feel, the more life it gives you, the more energy it gives you, because the cells of that food is still moving. And when you consume it, it gets your cells moving. And then you become more alive, more energy, more healthy. So that's all I wanted to share today. And I hope that it helps. I hope that whatever I shared with you, you're able to grasp something that you enjoy and you benefit from. Thank you. Now, miigwech.